are already logged in, but we are allowing them in. You know, we have to press the yes, 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 yes. So just give us a few more seconds, all right?
Oh, so I don't have to do anything now. I just.
Oh, yes, you do,
Yeah.
Miss Jennifer. Definitely, you'll be giving the opening.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the opening. Okay.
Ah,
For how many minutes? Just a while only, right?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
After
Also don't know what
you
to
give
say.
the opening, I will do the brief introduction of the student experience plan. Then after that, it will be the show of I. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mm.
Okay. All right, we will be starting. Most of our colleagues are in. So, all right. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow friends and fellow colleagues. It is very nice to see all of you here today on this very good weather in UG. Today's weather is very good. Now, for today, let me just speak a little bit on what is going to happen. Now, the Best Practice of Enhancing Student Experience Forum series is designed for all staff to discuss on key issues that have direct impact on students' experience. Now, when we talk about students' experience, a good experience will lead to happy and satisfied students who eventually would speak well of us. Now, students' experience, when we talk about students' experience, it is made up of two key areas over here. On one side is the learner experience. On the other is the personalized experience. When we talk about the learner experience, is the academic or the program that the student purchases. So that is the key thing that they buy. But another key element that we will always need to emphasize, yet many times neglect, is called the personalized experience. Too many times, the personalized experience is like when students come in, the experience that they get, the activities and so on. This personalized experience of students get neglected, and it becomes a factor of students leaving, not flowing through, or not giving a good word of mouth of our institution. So there are two key areas over there. The program may be very good, but because of the weak or the lacking in the personalized experience, that can be an impact. That is why we have this series. This series starts with a discussion with Associate Professor Dr. Tan Chin Ait on making your lessons fun, enhancing students' learning experience. The forum series will continue with weekly sessions that will discuss on areas such as graduate attributes, youth empowerment, alumni, and building a global society, just to name a few. Now, it is my pleasure to invite Ms. Jennifer Ng to give her opening remarks.
I only know of that 5 minutes ago. Anyway.
Thank you, Dr. Han.
Hello, everybody. How are you? So I can't see their faces, but they can see me. Is it?
Yes,
Yes.
we can see you.
Everybody, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I actually asked for this series. One of the important thing is, we are doing, I just have been to so many retreat workshops in the past 1 or 2 months, the UOW retreat, and also the UOWG retreat. And one of the things that come out, is the concern for everybody is the market. We are not getting enough students due to various reasons, closure of border, or it's just that some of the students are now not making decision to continue in their studies or whatever, also because there's affordability question and so on. So enrollment becomes the focus of the retreats that I joined in the past 1 or 2 months. Enrollment and enrollment and enrollment, okay? Because this is very important. This is about sustainability. So when we talk about enrollment, then a lot of the times I bump into colleagues and we start talking, oh, the enrollment in UOW Malaysia KDU is not good. We are not even achieving the last year's enrollment. And I've been asked that question many times by UOW. UOW asked me, last year you have 8 months closure of campus. And this year you don't have any closure, and how come enrollment is not the same level as last year? You should be achieving 20%, 30% more, and so on and so on. So when I bump into colleagues and sometimes we touch on this topic about enrollment, and some colleagues say, oh, don't know what the marketing people are doing. What is their plan, so and so on. But to me, that kind of feedback make me feel that we should have conducted this forum ASAP. And I actually asked for this to be conducted. Somebody speaking? No? Okay. So, marketing can only bring in the prospective parent student to the campus, try to convince them to come in. Okay, this is what marketing people are doing, trying to bring people inside, walk in now, or their social media, try to get people to respond to you. In the SEO, search engine, or search engine, what is the O for? Search engine optimization and search engine marketing and these kind of things. It's just to let people click on the Google. They can only bring in the people, but whether the parents, the students, they want to enroll or not, got lots more what marketing can do beyond. Marketing can do everything. And I think all of us would recognize that it's very important is what the market speaks of us, your reputation, your brand, okay? And a lot of it is not about, selling UOW, selling UOW is top 1% in the world, is within 200 in the QS, and when they're so, how many? 200,000 universities in the world, and they are within 200, so there is top 1% in the world. These things will not, to me, make people to therefore make a decision, say, but it's a lot about their experience. KDU has been operating for nearly 40 years. You have many alumni, you have many graduates, you have many students. People know about you through their experience here. So graduate is the student experience is very important in ensuring sustainability and growth. And from this perspective, therefore, I thought, and actually student experience sharing, workshop sharing should be an everyday agenda of a university. Every university I've joined, I usually work in university very long one. I usually work 15 years, 16 years before I move on. So every university I join, what is always this student experience sharing session, lunchtime, what you call lunchtime workshop. It's very often. So this is something we should, I talk to women, we should be doing, and also Gabriel, you are in teaching and learning. This should be like an everyday agenda. So from now on. So this is the thing. It is in everybody's interest, and we are all doing that to give not only about growth, sustainability from the organization perspective. It's also about what the students get. Like for myself, when I remember my secondary school teachers or my primary school teachers or my university lecturers, how they teach is always in my mind, okay? So it's also about everybody's reputation and what you want, what you want people to say about you. So I feel that you know, we should invite the schools, each one, to talk about how they do student experience. And I think the SAC people should also do, you know, they will structure it into learners, and the other one is called personalized experience. So I think it's both the academic departments plus the student activities, whatever you name it, SAC in KL, I don't know what is that in Penang. The people should also speak about how they do things. But eventually, at the end of the series, there must be some structured things that characterize UOW Malaysia KDU. For example, you know, how people characterize themselves, okay? I remember, you know, I've been in Hong Kong for 40 years. I remember they never talk about student experience in the 1980s one, you know, or 1990s. But student experience, you know, is the same as democracy, you know, to me. As people talk about democracy, then they talk about students. Otherwise, it's all about what the professor wants. Time has changed. So to me, you know, in my experiences, some of the university, how they characterize themselves in student experience, okay? Like, for example, every of my student, they have half-year internship, okay? That is one special characteristics. Remember, we talked to one institution in France, I think 1 week ago, and that particular gentleman said, in our university, every student go for internship for once, don't care they are in music or whatever, or in business or in IT or in games, everyone, okay? That is one way. And some characterize themselves like City University, where I, you know, worked in Hong Kong. And Hong Kong University, I have been there for 17 years. They characterize themselves, every single student have 1 semester abroad. And it's up to them to choose America or Canada or France or Belgium or wherever, or China. Everyone, okay? I feel that at the end of our discussions, we should have some very structured things. To me, I'm looking forward to, I know you do a lot of internships already. I'm not worried about that. But I think we do very little study abroad scheme, paying local tuition fee. Okay, like what PK has been saying all the time, you know, Monash, they send Monash Malaysia, send their students, everyone got 1 chance to do 1 year overseas at local tuition fee. I think for us to do like Monash is a big exercise, but maybe every school has choose one program to do that. And I think if you do exchange program, your student go overseas, and exchange means their students must come here. Your campus will look very international. I remember, you know, I haven't gone through 40 years in Hong Kong. No matter how good is Hong Kong U, it's very famous. Hong Kong U is ranked 23, 21st sometimes in the world, okay? But their students, majority, they don't speak English well, but they can write well, but they don't speak well, okay? But starting in the 1990s, a lot of foreign students in Hong Kong U, and not, you know, Hong Kong U, City U also. You know, Hong Kong is a Cantonese speaking community. If you go and speak other language, they will scold you in the past, but now business is not so good, they will accommodate you. They will start speaking Mandarin to you. So just that 1990s, year 2000, wow, I can see so much improvement in English language speaking among students in Hong Kong. because of all these foreign students in Hong Kong, because of exchange program, because of the determination of doing this study abroad for every student. So something like that. You know, I would hope that at the end of this series that women would draw up a structured program that will characterize us, you know, that we are known for that. So I just stop here. I already taken 15 minutes. Sorry about that.
No worries. Thank you, Miss Jennifer. Thank you for that very good insight on the plans for the institution in that manner. Now, I would like to invite Prof. Horn to give a recap on the Student Experience Plan 2021 to 2025.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, Ms. Jennifer, for the opening. It is indeed true that this session is initiated by Ms. Jennifer because I think all of us know in order for us to grow this institute, the most important thing is how do we, every one of us, play an important role in enhancing the student experience. Yeah. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to share the student experience plan that we have drafted at the end of year 2020. And just to recap for everyone, in a way, student experience or enhancing student experience has always been the strategy or the aim that we all wanted to do here. And I will also proudly say that today's sessions is not meant to say we didn't do a good job. In fact, I want to highlight is I believe we have done quite a good job. It's just that there are still more for us to do. Yeah. So this session is kind of the next few every 2 weeks we will have these sessions and we will have different people come in to share some of the good things that they have done in the last few years that share with all of us. But at the same time as what Ms. Jennifer has mentioned, after we hear from everyone, we also want to use this as an opportunity for us to drive some more structured strategy forward to see how we can even bring our student experience to much better manners. Yeah. So just let me share, we did have this student experience plan 2021 to 2025. Can you see my slides?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the key strategies are 4 areas. So the first one is excellent academic delivery and curriculum design. The second one is outstanding extracurriculum activities and student support. The third one is real-world exposure with strong industry and community linkages. And last but not least, a great campus facilities that facilitate a global learning experience. So if you heard what Jennifer has mentioned, we talk about curriculum design, we talk about, having semester abroad. We also talk about, SSC also play a very important role here to enhance student activities and student experience. But I also want to highlight one point that I think has not come up, but is something that we all may have forgotten, but very important is actually every one of you, not just the academic, not just SAC, everyone that is working in this institution play a key role to make this place a great place, yeah, that can facilitate global learning experience. Yeah. So ultimately, we believe that excellent student experience is the one that drives the student to be empowered and future-ready students. So for the first one, these are some of the things that we have been putting in. It has been guiding all the academic departments, the heads, in how we actually design the things that we want to do in these few years. First of all, innovative teaching and learning approaches. That one definitely T&L side, Gabriel side, we have been driving a lot on this. Global exposure. Last 2 years is very unique, but yes, moving forward, we will definitely drive this forward in a much quicker and faster manner. And distinctive graduate outcomes. I think most of you already know we have actually come up with the graduate attributes for UOW and KDU, and we have been shared with everyone. And most of you have aligned your teaching and curriculum design to achieve the graduate attributes that we have designed. And last but not least, very important is the affectionate and competent academic staff, which is something that I believe Ike will share with us more on what he and his team has done. Yeah. So this is just a recall of graduate attributes. So intellectual competency, professional acumen, effective communication skills, creative critical thinking and problem-solving abilities, entrepreneurial spirit, and global mindset. So just now, Ms. Jennifer did mention a structured approach. I think as most of you know that we have already put in a subject entrepreneurship within our degree programs. So all our students, doesn't matter whether you're business or engineering students, it will go through the subject entrepreneurship in all our campuses. And in order for us to develop the entrepreneurial spirit that we want to develop among our students. So number 2, outstanding extracurricular activities and student support services. Yeah, we have set up student and alumni center within all campuses. In KL, we have been using the name SAC for a long period of time, but in Penang side, it's also SAC. It's just that in SAC in Penang, we have a small little department, under it. So Jennifer, just for your info, it's also SAC at Penang side as well. So effective student representations, yeah, we do have our student council and we empower a student council to be the voice of students. And we have the structured youth empowerment plan that is being used across all the campuses to help us to develop students with the UOW Malaysia Career Graduate Attributes. So here are some activities, and a lot of these are pre-COVID. But I think as most of the colleagues agreed with me, in the last 1 month, we started to see a lot more activities start to come out on campus. And SAC as well as school are very, very busy. Yeah, I believe in Penang and as well as in UG side. So yesterday, UG side got a Freshie Nights, and I think last week in Penang, we have a big activities that is on campus. So thank you very much for those of you who has been working very hard in order to achieve the student life that we want the students to enjoy on campus. So the third one is real exposure with strong industry and community linkages. So academic side, we are working closely with the industry and community to make sure that our programs is updated. And that's why we have our industry advisory panels. We have our advisor that guide us on this. And not only that, as an academic staff, every one of us also putting in efforts to gain, to work with the professional bodies in order for us to stay relevant and also to build up the rapport with the industry. This will be able to give us opportunities for the industry and community to recognize us and also to work with us to build a stronger teaching and learning community for our students. So here are just some examples, and honestly, with the work that everyone has put in, from the school and also from students, alumni centers, especially like in Penang, we all know Anna has been working very hard to get a lot of industry collaborations for all the schools. And in KL side also, we are having, Azura that will be the one that is coordinating all the internship together with the academic team. All these things will not be possible without every one of you working together for that. Number 4, great campus facilities to facilitate global learning experience. Vibrant campus is something that we have been very proud of. The last 2 years with the pandemic, we all missing, the vibrant campus experience for students. But as I already mentioned just now, in the last 1 month, there are a lot of activities being carried out on campus. Yeah, so you can even see that our engineering students are running around on campus. Our comm students are running around campus with the new, the nursing student as well. So those are the ones that making our campus vibrant. And this one, teaching and learning anywhere, everywhere, is something that teaching and learning is working closely with the school as well as working with the industry. And of course, without the help of our IST department, it is not possible for us to facilitate this year. So thank you very much for our support department colleagues as well. So research activities, research facilities, this one will be the main thing to enhance our postgraduate student experience. We are also working hard in getting this done. And this year, a lot more global exchange with the UOW colleagues all around the world, and we'll see this getting better and better. Yeah. So roughly, these are some of the things that we have put in place as our student experience plan 2021 to 2025. I would say a lot of things has moved, but it's still a lot of place for us to improve. Most important is, I think every one of us just need to remember, we are education institutions. Students are our customer. If we can provide the best learning experience for our students, that is when we will be a successful academic institutions. So that's all I have. Ms. Jennifer, Prof. Hugh or Prof. Chong, do you have anything to add before we invite Ike to actually share his experience and his best practice?
I have two things. Maybe I speak first, then the two VCs can give their comments. First thing is, do you think, Gabriel, you mentioned weekly. It's not going to be weekly, right? This thing
It's
is
bi-weekly.
like
Yeah.
bi-weekly, okay.
Every
All
fortnight.
right.
Every fortnight.
Every fortnight, oh, okay. But do you think it's good to, at the end, do a student session, get the students to speak what they want?
Mhm.
We can do that.
Don't select those only speaking what you want them to say. Let them speak freely. So this is my first comment. My second one, I saw that there are many colleagues. There are about 100 of us here. It's a very good forum. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for your enthusiasm. I'm a bit conscious that people think that, we always ask for meeting, and then in the end nothing happened. So at the end, as I say, women will draw up a structured thing that will become some kind of guidance, for student experience. I remember I also initiated the commercialization series, and many people took part here, and many presented wonderful ideas. And I just wanted to tell you that we are doing it, and we have one already in the process. The other one, which is Cindy, you should be here, is the Penang fish, what do you call that? Fish paste products. So we are in the process of getting someone, okay, to coordinate it. So it's not that calling people for meeting and then at the end nothing happened. We are consciously doing something. Okay, so over to you.
Prof. Hugh, do you have anything to add?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you for organizing this. I think it's timely we look at student experience in particular. We've just gone through SETARA assessment not too long ago, and we have the university status application looming, and all this also tie into having a very positive student experience. I think Jennifer mentioned about recruitment, the focus on recruitment. My call is actually that these are tied also into the benchmarking exercise. I think when we go through this, I would certainly hope to see that some of this session that we organize are aligned with the criteria for SETARA, the criteria for MyQuest, the SETARA for the criteria for university status application as well. If we could tie what we are focusing ourselves, what we are setting ourselves up in terms of student experience to these benchmarking activity, we would also be able to score well with them in the upcoming future benchmarking. Thank you.
That's a good point. Yeah, link it to SETARA when you structure.
Yeah. Thank you. Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you for organizing this session. I think this is a very interesting and very important session. And of course, students.
Why we can't see you?
Ah, I see. It's I look at a screen, but I didn't lift up the cover of my laptop. I always forgot to do it. That's why every time you couldn't see me. Actually, Okay, now. Student learning experience is very, very important. I think you can realize that certain institution has a very good enrollment because of the student learning experience. sorry,
Which one?
like Monash University, like some other university, because they have a study abroad experience, and you look at our IMI, why we have we are popular for the IMI program, not only because it is a Swiss brand, it is a Swiss curriculum, but because we organize a lot of student learning activities. I think see, many years ago, I've been talking to the faculty here. I said that School of Hospitality, Culinary and Tourism is the only school that organize a lot of the activities, and I can easily recall they almost have 1 or 2 activities every month. And we use that, because of that reason, we build out the brand of the school and we become the leading school in this area. So,
Just for information, the college information, IMI is very, very small, but very, very successful. IMI is a family business, very small. It's just a family business. But it's top ranking in the world, right? In culinary arts.
yeah, correct.
Yeah,
correct.
it's a family business only. Yeah.
And it is because of the student learning experience, and because of that factor alone, and of course of the Swiss curriculum, that bring them to the top in the ranking in the hospitality area. So I believe that we can do the same as well. And IMI stand out because of us, because we create a name for them as well. And why not we create ourselves for other discipline as well? And I believe that if we are able to enrich this area, to enhance this area, we can become a leading university in Malaysia as well. Yeah. So
and tell the VC of UOW we can get 10,000 students. That's a joke.
So and also it is our duty, because I believe that we are in education and we are the one that has to empower the youth. Empower them with different types of their experience, so that we can develop them into the global citizen. And it is our duty to prepare the next generation to be the global citizen. Yeah. So I hope that all the colleagues can work together, and together we try to train students to produce students with the attributes that we desire them to have, to be a critical thinker, to be innovator, to be a change maker, and bring change to the society. Yeah. So if we empower them, we provide them with a good learning experience. When we empower the youth, we change the life of the society. We can transform the whole society, whole nation, and make a difference to the nation. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, over to you, Gabriel.
Thank you very much. I think now what I'll do is I'll pass it on to Prof. Ike, who will then speak and start on the forum on making your lessons fun, enhancing student learning experience. Ike, the floor is yours.
Okay. Can you all see the slides?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And can you all hear my voice?
Loud and clear.
Yes.
Can, because I just had sotong curry, so I think I'm having a bit of sore throat. Hopefully not COVID lah. All right. Yeah. So I've been given.
Don't.
Sorry.
I don't do so well. Next time it's me.
Don't do so.
Okay, yeah. So I'm supposed to share on this topic, yeah, making your lessons fun and enhancing student learning experience. Then I realized, right, at the end of the day, fun is very subjective. I don't think we can, fun means different things to other people. Definitely fun means different things to our students, right? When we talk about fun, for me, my idea of fun is playing games. All right, I love playing games. All right, although nowadays don't have much time because got a lot of work lah. For example, Gabriel, his idea of fun is to watch his football team Tottenham lose. Yeah, which they do all the time, so he always has fun. Michelle's idea of fun could be watching Korean drama and crying. Caleb, our international marketing manager, yeah, his idea of fun could be food. Durian, yes,
Durian.
yeah, and food hunting. Dr. Horn's idea of fun is actually studying. So each of us have a different version of perspective for fun. So I suppose I'm going to go from a different angle. It's not so much about making your lesson fun, but it's more on how do we actually enhance the student experience. All right. So just to share with all colleagues here, some of my personal experience and journey. So this is not meant to be like a workshop or a guide or a teaching thing, but it's more of a sharing. Yeah. Some of my insights of what I've learned over the years, my experience as a student, yeah, so on and so forth. Yeah, so it's not about the lessons alone. I think student experience is not only about the lesson, but the entire study experience, the entire experience in the program. Yeah, from their interaction with the fellow students, from the interaction with the lecturers, and of course, the interaction from the university. Yeah, so students have to have fun in your class. I mean, that's a given. All right, students should have fun in your class. They should have a fun experience overall. Yeah, with you. So yeah, it's not about making lessons fun, but a positive overall study experience. And I would like to introduce this concept. Yeah, I call effective engagement. So what is effective engagement? Okay, it's similar to empathy. All right. So what I do, right, most of the time, and how I plan my lessons, how I plan my lectures, how I prepare for all my lesson studies and my lectures actually revolves around principles of game design. Yeah. Games are actually an entertainment construct. Yeah, we play games to have fun. We play games to get engaged. And games is actually one of the best way to engage people. But a lot of people don't know, right? Games are actually also learning engines, because as you play the game, you have to learn how to slowly beat the boss. You have to learn how to slowly complete a level. Yeah, I know for a fact, Dr. Horn plays Candy Crush. I think even today, right? Even though Candy Crush is not hang anymore, but she still play lah, So yeah, I mean, every level, every challenge that comes out, you need to actually learn how to overcome. And it's a learning experience as well. So in games, we have this notion where we use empathy in order to create an engaging player experience. What is player experience? Player experience is basically the experience you want the player to go through. You want the player to have as they play their video games. And it is not much different than student experience. All right. So coming back to effective engagement and coming back to empathy. Empathy is basically the use of emotions. You see, for me, right, I believe this, experiences that involve emotions are the strongest. Think of movies and events, yeah? Think of movies especially. That when you see a particular movie and you either have satisfaction or excitement, yeah, or even anger, you tend to remember the movie, all right, or at least particular scenes in the movie. For example, one of the most memorable scenes was Avengers Endgame. Yeah, so I'm a Marvel fan, all right. I love that scene where Captain America got the Mjolnir. I call him Meow Meow lah, the Mjolnir, yeah, the hammer, yeah, and when he got the hammer, or the audience went wild, and that was a scene that was kept on being replayed back over and over again. Similarly, Bambi, for example, how many of you watch Bambi? I'm not sure, but when you watch Bambi, as you watch the mother die, it tugged at your emotional heartstrings. Same as Toy Story, same as even Sixth Sense. I'm not sure how many have watched Sixth Sense, but when Bruce Willis found out that he was actually dead, it was a emotional shocker for you, and that scene tends to stick on in your memory. Events as well, through a particularly bad breakup or happy, joyous occasion, all this sticks in your memory. So emotional experiences, right, can either create a positive or a negative experience that sits in your memory. I think one of the biggest experience that we are dealing with today is student experience. And the best way to deal with student experience, to create a positive experience, is through the use of emotions and empathy. Yeah, so walk with me. Yeah, Gabriel actually explained this quite in detail. So what is student experience? There are many facets of student experience, right? You have personal growth, student experience in academic programs, student experience in, community, yeah, their clubs, the society, student experience in their Wi-Fi connection, which, by the way, our Wi-Fi is very good. It's just that students always stream a lot of videos, yeah, so that's why it seems as though it's slow, all right? But yeah, I mean, it's the overall campus experience. So student experience in a university encompasses many aspects, right? In other words, it's the entire life cycle, or life cycle of being a student. From the very first day they stepped into tertiary education in UOW Malaysia campus, right until they graduate. And I think we have an opportunity to either change their perception of education from their secondary school life, right, into something more positive, or at least we enhance it or we augment it. Yeah, so that is our role, is to make sure that the entire time they spend here, that 3 years, their 4 years, their 5 years, will stick into their memory as a positive experience. So like Gabriel mentioned, right, we can break down student experience into a couple of major areas. Yeah, he said 2. That's because he combined both PX and CX together. Yeah, so student experience, yeah, we call it as SX. I am not going to use that initial because it's a different connotation altogether. All right, so yeah, student experience, and student experience is divided into 3 major experience. All right, one, of course, is LX, which is the learning experience. All right, learning experience is basically their interaction with the academics, their interaction during lectures, how they learn, how they acquire information, how they, get to graduate and go through their modules and their assignments and everything. And arguably, this is the most important aspect of shaping their study or their student experience. There is another one, which is called personal experience. So Gabriel talked about personalized experience, which combines PX and CX. But on the whole, personal experience is basically the campus life they encounter and they have. All right, from friends, making friends, to the lifestyle in campus, to the clubs and societies, to the relationships they build within campus. All right, this is something very personal to them. Yeah, and of course the CX, that's their customer experience. That's the interaction they have with the organization from an administrative part. Yeah, with A&B, for example, with admissions and bursary, with marketing, with SAC and student services, with finance, with facilities and management, with walking through the campus and seeing the entire ecosystem at play. Yeah, in terms of management experience. The trick is to ensure at least 2 of these areas are positive experience. So along the way, we're going to talk about how to increase learning experience, personalized experience, and of course, customer experience, yeah, or we call it service experience. But for today, I'm just going to focus a little bit on the learning experience bit. All right. Yeah, so I mentioned just now, effective engagement. And I spoke about, how experiences can be formed in the memory, how it can either create a very strong positive experience or an extremely bad negative experience. And I use empathy, yeah? Empathy is the ability to enter into the life of another person. In other words, to accurately perceive someone's current feelings, and I believe it's actually a very strong element to use in designing games. Yeah, a lot of games companies uses empathy / emotions. All right, and empathy, or rather, empathy is divided into 2 areas. One is called a cognitive empathy, and the other is called affective empathy. So please humor me a bit as I go into a little bit of explanation. Yeah. So cognitive empathy is basically this. For example, if your friend is experiencing a very strong or very bad breakup, yeah, they just broke off with somebody. You have never gone through a breakup yourself. All right. But you understand the social protocols. You understand that, hey, you know, he must be hurt, he must be heartbroken, he must be going through a hard time. Cognitive empathy is you don't know exactly what they feel, but you are using your common sense to basically guide you and go through it. So you go like, oh, okay, you know, chin up, you know, don't worry, there are a lot of fish in the sea, you know, don't worry lah. It's just a girl, don't worry, there are many other girls and she was not good for you, or you'll find someone better. So you are empathizing, but it's a very surface level empathy, right? On the other hand, you have affective empathy, which is basically a very personal engagement. If you talk to a friend about a breakup, you have actually gone through it yourself, you've experienced it yourself, or you have experienced other people have gone through it, or at least you understand from the emotional aspect what that person is going through, so you can relate to the person, yeah, on a deeper level, a deeper scale. Let me explain why this is important from a student perspective. We cannot think of student engagement from a cognitive level. We actually have to approach it from an effective level. We have to actually understand, yeah, what drives students. What do students want? What do students want from us as lecturers? What motivates them? What difficulties they face? That is basically empathy. But effective empathy is actually making the conscious effort to know. And I believe if you know somebody, if you know something deep enough, the effort that you put inside and the process that you do would be a more deeper understanding. You see, every lesson, right, I structure, every module I structure. I may teach the same module over the for the past few semesters, but every time I look at the student that comes in and I restructure it according to the students. Yeah. So every lesson I structure, I try to use as much as possible. I'm not perfect. I try as much as I can to put myself in the student's shoes. So every lesson is different, and every experience is varied. Yeah. So I ask myself this question. What type of students are we teaching? Every generation is different. Yeah. I think later on, Associate Professor T.S. Julian Lee will go into that. He will show you, he will fit into the, teach you how do the millennials think. Yeah, because and the generation X and the generation Y and all the younger generation, because he's quite young actually. Okay, but yeah, so every generation is different. Every generation learns at a different rate. Every student learns also at a different rate. The art of teaching, right, is understanding how to appeal to these different groups, Now, I know there are two schools of thoughts. I know there are a lot of lecturers who say that students should learn at the lecturer's pace. I'm not going to accommodate myself to the students. Rather, the students should accommodate to me. I believe that times have changed. Yeah, I believe that students' voices should be sought after. Their views must be seen as centrally important to the development, of knowledge. All right. In other words, right, students should be a co-producer of knowledge in both pedagogy and in practice. As in producers of their own learning. All right. So learning has to be two-way. I think that we need to learn how our students learn. All right. Okay. So what do students want? I think if you were to ask any students, basically, or let's try from a different perspective. Lecturers, right? We expect students to be responsible. We expect students to be curious. We also want them to follow rules. We want them to do their homework and their assignments regularly. Yeah. but we actually don't know what the students want, right? The key role of lecturers is to make students focus in class. I suppose, in a way, a good lesson or good module or good learning experience is a result from active participation from both lecturers and students. But nowadays, right, I think students want more from lecturers than just mere lesson delivery. They want the experience. They want the engagement. They want to be engaged in class. As I mentioned before, times have changed. We cannot expect the same type of learning that we ourselves are accustomed to. 30 years ago, the learning was different. Nowadays, it's different. Our students have grown up on digital devices. It's a different sort of learning. They learn through Uncle Google themselves, you know, or they learn through Wikipedia, they learn through YouTube, and they learn through sharing on social media. It's a different sort of learning altogether. And if we don't adapt to this, we will perish. Very much so like companies like Kodak or even Nokia, when they refuse to understand how not only technology, but how students have moved or their customers have moved forward. So like it or not, students are our customers. Like it or not, I don't like to use this phrase. When I was a young lecturer, I hated this phrase, but as I grew older, I grew somewhat wiser, somewhat like, you know, and I realized that, hey, at the end of the day, right, students are our customers. We have to actually treat them like, to give them a positive student experience. So you can disagree with me, but the reality is that, yeah, so what do students want from us? I'm going to share with you a little bit about what I've learned over the years, as well as what has shaped my philosophy and what I've done. But not only that, this is also based through research. I've done a little bit of reading, anecdotal evidences, as well as talking to students over the past couple of days. Yeah, and today was quite a blessing as well. We had a valedictorian interview, and the students also shared a few things. So allow me to just share basically student experience. Yeah, I call it the needs of a student. Yeah. So what do students want from us? What do students want from us? I think the first and foremost, students want their lecturers to be approachable. I think being approachable is a highly regarded, as an important factor for a lecturer. It means, right, that the lecturers, or you and I, are available and willing to find time to support the students. But more importantly, right, be able for the students to come and seek answers from you. Being approachable means no barrier. There is no lecturer-student gap. I think we should eliminate the gap. Yeah, a lot of us talked about, you know, let's have a flat organization, you know. But when it comes to lecturer students, we don't want it to be flat. We want it to be, there's always a gap, you know, that professional gap. For me, I think we should eliminate the gap. There should be always a level of respect. There should always be a line we can't cross. But at the end of the day, the students are adults, right? We should treat them as adults. You know, I spoke to a couple of students many semesters ago, and I asked them, they were from INTI, okay, and they came over to quite a number of them came over to UOW Malaysia, and being curious, I asked them, you know, what made you come over, or rather, you know, what is different in UOW than in INTI? And all five said this, you know, their friends actually told them that UOW lecturers are extremely approachable and friendly. It's a different sort of lifestyle. It's a different sort of experience than they were familiar with in high school. In high school, teachers, most, yeah, if not all teachers, would have that barrier, yeah. But students remember those teachers which are approachable and are friendly, and they wanted the same experience in their tertiary education. We have a reputation for that. Yeah. Today, I actually had the session with the valedictorian, and one of them said this, you know, so I will give credit where credit is due, okay? So Miss Shahida, you may be a bit blushing right now, but yeah, she said Miss Shahida she didn't say lecturer first. She actually said Miss Shahida is my friend first. She mentioned that she had a couple of friends. And when she mentioned Shahida, I was like, eh, Shahida as in the lecturer or Shahida is a student? You know, so she said, yeah, Shahida, the lecturer. You know, she motivates me a lot. And I feel that I could literally talk to her about anything. And because of that approachability, I don't know if that's a good word, Michelle, please don't judge me. Because of that, I can actually, you know, I learn better. My entire student experience has been shaped into a more positive one. So yeah, be approachable. Yeah, learn to be approachable. I know for some of us it may be hard. We want that barrier, but you know, I'm not asking you all to be, you know, totally friendly, but there shouldn't be a gap where, you know, you can only come and find me when I'm free, you know, or don't talk to me outside of class. I see you outside of class, that's it, you're my student, that's all, you know. But I don't think that's the case in UW. I've seen many lecturers. We are very hospitable, yeah, and friendly with their students. Next lesson is relational, yeah, basically, you know, communicative, you know. The students will ask this question, right? Am I just a face in a crowd of classrooms and students? Am I just a test score? Do my lecturers actually know about me, about my interests, about my talents? You know, so similar to approachability, students, right? I feel, and from what I've spoken to them, they actually wish to form a very cordial relationship with their lecturers. It's not so much close relationship where they can go and makan and everything, you know, go disco and everything. Please, that crosses the line. But that relationship where, you know, they are not scared to ask questions. They know that they are in a safe space with you. Students actually feel very thrilled, right, when their lecturers acknowledge them as individuals than merely being part of the class. It's like you, like most of us, you know, you really love it, right, when your boss and Miss Jennifer calls you by name. You go like, hey, Miss Jennifer knows me, you know. It's a thing that a lot of people, you know, likes to be acknowledged. Trust me, sorry. Trust. I believe that students also feel the same way. Being called by name, being acknowledged, being recognized, you know, is something that I think students feel really appreciative about. Yeah, so being relational, there are a lot of skills that we can use. Clear communication is one. A sense of humor, yeah, it's another art as well. Ability to engage students in the session, and of course, being very reflective. Yeah. So I just wanted to also give credit. Yeah, this is something I also learned today. One of the students said this about Miss G from engineering. She said, you know, she was the teacher advisor for their SOE club. Hopefully I got that right. Yeah. And you know, they said he said this exact words. Actually, as a faculty advisor, right, it's not her job to run around with them, but she did. During events, she will do what they did. She literally, this term called turun padang. You know, she's always at the forefront. And it's actually leadership by example. The students see the passion, they see the, you know, basically she's relating so much with the students. Yeah, she is part of the students. Yeah, so that was something I when I listened, I was like, wow, you know, amazing. Yeah, I think this is something that we should all strive to do as well. Of course, this is the most important, passionate. Yeah, passion for a subject, passion for your subject, and an urge to share with others. You know, it's like gossiping, lah. You know, we hear a piece of news, we like to gossip and like to share with others, right? So, although this is a different sort of sharing, yeah. So, passion as a lecturer is basically to get other students, other people, to be as interested in the subject as you are. You see, no one actually likes being lectured. You know, I hate being lectured. Yeah, I always get lectured on. Yeah, but a good lecturer is someone who doesn't make it feel like a lecture. It makes it feel as though it's basically an exploration process. It's an illumination process. It's, you know, it's satisfying your curiosity. It's making you ask questions and you answer. Good lecturers basically do this. They light the match and they inspire you to go out and find out more. Bad lecturers basically just fill the bucket and load you with information. This is the study plan. This is the course structure. This is what I must teach you. Nah, 北累了, you know, and give it to you, you know. Whether you can eat, you have to swallow, you choke, I don't care. At least I fulfill my lesson plan. Passionate lecturers make sure that the students learn in their learning speed. Yeah, so I think you set out with the right intentions, the mode of delivery, the use of interactions, visual aid, all follows. Attitude is paramount. Yeah, and this basically was a statement for Miss Stella from SOB. You know, she said the student was so. They said that, you know, every lesson feels as though Miss Stella has poured her heart and soul in making that lesson as interesting as possible. They said that, you know, she gives extra time to ensure what we learn, the students will learn what needs to be learned. So it's a lot of sacrifice on her part, and they see that passion. So Miss Stella let you know that if you're here, they see that passion. They remember that passion. Yeah, so please keep it up. Yeah, that's the best compliment you can ever get, right? When they say, you know, they really recognize the heart, your hard work. Yeah. Supportive. Yeah. You know, being able to provide a safe space for students. I think in students' view, a good lecturer basically appreciates, right, all the difficulties students may face in learning lah. And I think, you know, we understand and we offer as much support as possible. One of the most important approaches to being supportive, right, is to create a safe space for the students, a safe space for the students to make mistakes and develop. Understand this, students will always make mistakes. Ours is not to punish, but ours is to nurture. Ours is to ensure that they learn something. Yeah, so don't always come up with a stick, but learn to empathize, learn to let them have the courage to try. Once you try, always understand that trying always you know, involves mistakes. Yeah. So yeah, Dr. Nishita, this is for you. Yeah. So the students basically said that, you know, they really are thankful for you. Yeah. You basically gave a lot of support. Yeah. So I know I only got a few more minutes, so I'm going to go very fast. Yeah. Reachable. Arguably a very controversial one. I know a lot of lecturers don't want to be reached, don't want to give their personal contact, don't want or have a specific constraint for the students, right? Yeah, you know, yeah, you can only see me here and here, or this time and this time, you know. I think students have changed. They grew up with devices. They have learned to get information at their fingertips. It's a new generation. They want answers. They want replies as soon as possible. All right. Yeah. So back to Miss Stella. Your students said this. Yeah, they're very appreciative that you shared your WhatsApp number with them so that they can reach you at any time. Not during class times, but literally anytime they face problems. And this student, you know, they remember it, and they will remember you for the rest of their lives. Yeah. So yeah, please. I believe I do that as well. I give students my contact details. I give parents my contact details because this is a service. This is a student experience I want them to have. This is my my sacrifice, my passion for them. All right. And last is, of course, attentive. Yeah, attentive / reflective. A good lecturer is a good student. I think we need to actually examine the people in front of us. We need to learn. We need to be teachable. As much as we are lecturers, we also need to be teachable. We need to learn. We need to learn to improve. We need to learn to adapt. We need to learn how to take criticism. We need to learn when students give their teaching survey, some of it, we need to know that we have not done something and how to improve ourselves. Yep. So yeah, basically, end of the day, ask yourself this question now. Why did we become a lecturer? Why do we become a lecturer? What primes us? What motivates us? What is our end goal? What brings a smile to your face? It's not only about being good or making an impact in education, but it's an impact to all the people around us. So let's take that ownership of the university. Let's turn hard work into hard work. All right. And yeah, improve the experience, I feel, and everybody wins. All right. Yeah. And I'm done. So Gabriel sent me a message, asked me to please don't talk too much. Okay, Gabriel, back to you.
Thank you. Okay. We have another around 9 to 10 minutes. See, I have no choice. If you don't send Ike a message, he will go on forever. Correct. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we are opening up the forum for the next 9 to 10 minutes for you to have any questions that you'd like to ask to be answered by our team over there, especially on what Ike has presented, the insight that he has put over here and the various tips and ideas. I believe is going to be very important for us to have a different perspective of how the way we do our work. So, but I do understand that asking questions or having doubts or uncertainties are also there. So please feel free. This is the time. What you can do is you can unmute yourself to ask the questions, or if you would like, you can even write it down into the chat. All right.
Dr. Hon will answer all the questions. Thank you. Yeah. So I think this is a platform where we can agree to disagree. I mean, if there's certain things that you feel that, hey, you're wrong, you know, or hey, you know, end of the day, this shouldn't be the case. Yeah, let's discuss, let's see. But I think the most important at the end of the day is student experience. Yeah, what we want students to learn, what we want the students to feel.
I just want to.
Okay, Jennifer, you say first.
I just want to thank Ike for all the hard work and the hard work. Yeah, and it's a wonderful presentation. I didn't expect it to be. I know you are good, but I didn't expect it to be so good.
Cool. Ike.
Wow, so he can sleep very well tonight. So maybe I come back to your questions that approachable or attentive to students. I think one of the things that I have been mentioned many times to the colleagues here, that one thing that I really appreciate is we do have a lot of passionate teachers and very approachable teachers, and that is one of the strength and that I can see with the teachers here. But during the pandemic, and especially when we are working from home that time, there's also a lot of question marks that we have. How do we strike a balance between approachable, especially we give them the personal number, but we also have very demanding parents and students that when they text the lecturers at 11 p.m., they expect the lecturers to answer it the next day, and sometimes they will get blamed. So what will be the advice on this? Because I don't want my teachers to become so drowned and also get too stressed up, because that they should have some rest time as well.
You're asking me a question?
Yeah, I'm asking you a question because you say that you give the personal number, right? Which is honestly, I appreciate that, but at the same time, that's also becomes something that the students, the demand of students or parents to private education teachers, yeah, sometimes they don't draw the line. They just take, yeah. So what would be your advice on that?
So that's why I always ask this question, or rather I ask this question: what drives you what drives us, what motivates us, what is my end goal, what makes me happy, you know. I ask that question first to myself in order to see what my value system or my philosophy is. My philosophy, for me, what makes me happy is when I make a student or parent happy. That is my primary goal. You know, someone once told me, I always remember lessons that people tells me when, and I got one former boss last time, who said this when I was a very, very young lecturer. He said this at the end of the day. He said, always treat the students like how you want your child to be treated. Always treat your students like how you want to be treated. You know, they are, you know, and always, you know, put yourself in their shoes. And she's told me that every student I have is my child. And I sacrifice a lot for my children, he said, you know. I when they are having food, my kids like a certain food, I will take less for myself and I'll give it to them. And I give that in terms of time as well. Yeah, so ever since, and that was my motivation factor ever since then. For the past 20 years, I always did that as well, you know. What makes me happy is when I feel that the students are happy. When the students, if I can sacrifice my time to make them happy and let them learn, if they are in a very unsafe space, or you know, or if the parents are anxious or something and they want an answer fast, by helping them, would I make a positive student experience? And if that answer is yes, then I have done what I have set out to do. So it's not for everybody. So the question I think the lecturers have to ask is, what motivates them? Which comes back to the other question, why are they in this business in the first place? Why do they teach? What makes them teach? Yeah, so different people have different answers. So I cannot answer. Dr. Horn, I cannot answer. I cannot give an advice.
So
I can only say that this is...
So Caleb likes to eat with you, you know, you only eat less when you know the other one likes it. So anyway, so this is a difficult question. I think this is a very difficult question, but I think as I say, it's really, you know, your own motivation, your own goal, you know, how you want to treat people. I have a question, you know, this is for Horn. We are inviting the schools to talk, and then the SAC. But I think it's very important, the facilities, right? You know, and then the A and B, you know, they go to pay and then they have some problem. So, and even the registry, you know, get these people to talk how they treat students, you know, student experience, total student experience. Get these people to talk also.
So Jennifer, yes, all of them will be invited to share, because as I already mentioned, every one of us play a very key role here to enhance student experience. I'm not sure if you know or not, you know, David Tai being our A&B manager, he actually secretly supported a lot of students, giving his own money to sponsor students that's difficult. And those has come out, you know, during valedictorians and all those things. So those are the things that we will definitely get everyone to share. Yeah. We will. So I think,
I want to comment a little bit about what I said towards the end. I think I mentioned that somebody shared with him, which actually I relate quite well through my own experience in terms of at some point being a lecturer. The comment that you made, Ike, was that treat your student how you want your own children to be treated. I think that's a very powerful statement. But I also wanted to mention that that's a two-edged sword. I think as a parent, we all have different expectation or different style of teaching our own children. So some of us prefer the children to be taught in a very stern, very regimented, very strict way. Some of us wanted our children to be able to explore and be innovative. And so that statement itself, I relate very well, but I think also is a double-edged sword in that sense. And for the same token, I think we as lecturer, whatever the motivation, whatever the aspiration that you mentioned, in terms of being a lecturer, we are also in a way, I wouldn't say bounded, but guided by our own philosophy in that sense. If our philosophy of receiving a good education meant it is very regimented, then it's likely that our style of teaching will go in that kind of a way. If our own style is very exploratory, very accommodating, and therefore our teaching will go that, because we are guided by our own value. And as I mentioned that. But what I wanted to urge us to think about is we need to, through some of these forums, through some of this sharing, think beyond our own aspiration, our own value system, and think about and listen and take on with an open mind what other people share in terms of their value, what other people share in terms of what they think is important as a student experience, how they teach and why they teach in such a way. I think those, hopefully through the rest of this session, will help some of us to open up to different mindset. I mean, we may think through our own education, through our own experience, that teaching it this way, teaching it in a regimented fashion meant that they learn better. But if we open up and we listen to others sharing other experiences, because we're structured by our own experience, we may think of lecturing slightly differently into the future. And that's what I want to share. Thank you.
I think I really share with the heart. I was like, at the beginning of your talk, I was like, okay, I just sit down and listen to Art talk. What is he going to talk about? But later I found that I'm so absorbed in your talk that I pick up my pen and started to write down the notes. So you see that you have to use an effective, use an effective way to touch a person. So I have a question for you. A lot of time when I talk to the lecturer, I say that you, just like what you say, we have to adjust ourselves to see the needs of the student and adjust to the students' learning behavior and maybe adjust our teaching method. Just now, Prof. will say that we have our own way of teaching and sometimes we stick to our own principles, right? Yeah. But I like your way that you look at the student's behavior and adjust yourself to see the needs of the student behavior, and you try to make every lesson very different and very exciting. That is a good way, because you always listen and observe and try to make people happy. But which is in contrast with our human behavior, always want to make ourselves happy, always think that our own principle is correct, always think that our own idea, our own way of doing things is correct, and we don't really want to put our foot down into people's shoes and think, what do you need? What can I help you? Yeah, correct. So a lot of lecturers, when I talk to them, they say that if we use this behavior to accommodate to the students' style, things like that, instead of our own teaching style, isn't it? It is a spoon feeding. We spoon feed the student, yeah, and they are so big. Why we continue to do that? A lot of lecturers ask this question. So how are you going to respond to these questions?
Well, I mean, there is a difference between, for example, is being approachable considered spoon feeding? You can be approachable, you can be relational, you can be, emotional, you can be passionate without spoon feeding, the kids as well. It's not so much about what you do, it's more like how you do it, how you approach a particular student. I don't spoon feed. I don't spoon feed students, but basically I take the time to explain. I would want them to reach the conclusion themselves. Different students have a different way of reaching a conclusion. you know, some as you guys know, most of the times I teach in the games side, right? And the games we have quite unique type of individuals, you know, each with their own learning potential, each with their own learning style. So some and I think SCCM lecturers on the whole, all has learned to adapt to, you know, we can teach at a specific rate, but there are certain students where we will have to, you know, guide them lah. We won't spoon feed them, but we actually help them to open their eyes and learn, because learning, like I mentioned, is all about them learning to explore and experiment and find out themselves about things in life. It's just that sometimes you need to basically open their eyes a bit more first lah, that a bit of light come in before they can see everything lah. So I hope that answers your question. I don't have a hard and fast rule. Maybe I will ask the head of teaching and learning, who studies pedagogy, to answer this question. Gabriel,
Thank you. I mean, I would. True. I mean, what you're saying is true. At the end of the day, it comes down to what are we looking at. If we don't, in a way, if we always maintain the quality and standard of the education part of it, that we don't breach anything pertaining to that, the support that we give the student will be very much enhancing their learning. We are not in a way spoon feeding by giving them, or I would say giving everything directly to them, but we are assisting them. That's why I always say our teachers, we always call them teachers, I call them facilitators. We tell our students the end. We guide the students on the pathway. The students go out, we push them back in again. This is called facilitation. And facilitation is very unique. Different students in OBE practices, different students will need different level of facilitation. So that is why it is very important for us in our own scope and ability to be able to facilitate the learning of the student in that way, not to give them everything, but to guide them. That is what I see lah.
There's a question from Dr. Low.
Hello. I believe that approachability is definitely and certainly a very good form of motivation. I think we should be very approachable. But however, I think it's equally important to help students seek understanding, and communication is very important. I think, for example, if we let students understand that, you know, I will respond to your questions or whatever problems as soon as possible, but at times I may not be able to do this so soon. So you can, I hope that you can understand, you know, the kind of communication. We actually educate the student to be understanding. So we may not be able to respond to them immediately, not all the time. I believe if we communicate very clearly to the students, I think they will understand. I think we will be able to work very well with students. Thank you so much.
I think that's right. You know, students need to, all of us need to learn to be respectful as well.
Okay.
One question. I have one question. Okay. Hello.
Yes, we will take this as a last question. Dr. Ooi, go ahead, please.
Okay. To flow along what Prof. Chong and also Prof. Hill has the statement made with regards to the statement made by Ike on there, say we want to treat the student as if we are treating our own children. Then Prof. Hill saying that it is a double-edged sword there. The message can be at two ends. So the question over here is more towards what? On one hand, we are thinking of showing the student on all those positive avenue of helping them, guiding them, giving them whatever means that we have. How about in the area of discipline? How do we balance up in terms of knowing very well students? Some of them are really hard, not easy to discipline. Now, how do we balance up in this field?
Wow, that is a tough question to answer. I mean, end of the day, I think, you know, all those traits, you have to have the same balance as, you know when there should be a time where you know that you shouldn't be taken advantage of lah. You know, I think as educators, we know where the line, when the line is crossed, yeah, and when it needs to be disciplined, and when the students need to be spoken in a stern manner, we speak in a stern manner, so we don't spare the rod, you know, as a biblical thing. But by the way, I want to let you know, Dr. Uy, your students, right, really what I have gotten so much feedback from you, from them, right? They say that, you know, one of the things they enjoy the most about your classes, right, is that you are extremely relational. No? They said they can just sit in your class and just listen to you share experience after experience after experience. So I just wanted to take this platform to let you know, you know, sometimes a lot of lecturers don't get to hear what their students say, you know, all the compliments and everything. So yeah, just wanted you to know that.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
So hopefully you don't ask me any more difficult questions.
Okay. Okay. April.
Yeah.
So just now I heard saying that we are also planning to get students to speak right now, say to come and share in this platform. I want to volunteer. So last 2 weeks, I was in Penang conducting a workshop for the MBA student. For the MBA student. So one of the topic that they are supposed to share in a class, I feel that this topic is relevant for the student. If I can get a few students to come out to share in this platform, the topic that I have given to them is on these areas. In it, I told them to play the role of a customer and share their perception of how the services that has been provided by UOLW Malaysia KDU University Penang. So they are supposed to evaluate the effectiveness of IMC, integrating marketing communication campaign, and to relate to the appeal, the creative process of how we made it in the industry. So I believe if they can come in to share on their finding and their evaluation, it will be good for us to do some kind of evaluation.
Definitely, Dr. Uy, this is something that we will really appreciate. Let me work with you on this. We will take this out. I will communicate with you that we will come up with a correct slot and time that we will be able to learn from this. Thank you very much, Dr. Uy. So,
maybe Gabriel, can I try to answer Dr. Uy's question since I have 4 children?
Oh, okay.
How to discipline? Okay, we talk about the students here. I think it is important that to discipline students by showing example, by leading by example. Yeah, because I remember when my kids were young time, they threw a book, you know, at me. I said, why did you do that? He said that my teacher threw the books at me, at home. So that is when you lead, whatever things that you say in the classroom, whatever your action and reaction, all this is actually copied by students. Yeah. So just like I say that if you're supportive, you're very passionate, you're very reachable, very attentive to people, your student will copy it and they will do the same as well. Yeah. In the long run, when they graduate, they will inherit this sort of attribute. Yeah. So I think that we have to lead by example. Yeah. Okay. And discipline them by showing example. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right. In that case, I believe it has been a very fruitful session. Thank you, Ike, for sharing with us. And I believe the general discussion by every individual and the questions that have brought up has enlightened us to a better level on areas of this matter. Because the reason is at the end of the day, the students' experience here will be critical for us, not only for students to reach their outcome base in the long run, but for us to be able to sell the correct product and a product that is wanted by the public. And that is something very critical for all of us. So with that, I would like to sell to you in 2 weeks' time, Associate Professor Dr. Yap will be speaking on something very interesting, which is pushing the limits, building graduate attributes. So ladies and gentlemen, the corporate communication, I would say the marketing materials will come out very, very soon. Hazim is actually designing it. So once it comes out, we will come out with a series. Please register yourself and come and join us. With that, thank you very much and have a very good evening. Bye-bye.